Hello and welcome to Dome Talks. To be quite honest, I don't know if this is going to be a regular series of mine or if this will just be a one-off. Maybe whenever I have something to say, I will make a video or not. Who knows? Anyways, the reason for this video are the upcoming rumors of Boss releasing an HM-2 Waza Craft. There is a petition you can sign, and apparently someone asked Boss via Instagram or any other messenger if they were ever gonna release an HM-2 Waza Craft, and they said, well, if people wanna have one, we'll make one. Well, first of all, I don't know if this message is legit. Could be fake, could be old, because apparently the ex-Satyricon and Carcass guitar player Ben Ash or so has already started a petition some years ago, and Boss basically ignored it. So who knows? And second, why would Boss release an HM-2 Waza Craft? Just think of it. They released a couple of pedals in the Waza style, and every pedal had basically a switch where you could switch between the classic setting and a modern setting. So they improved their original designs. And I think they did a pretty good job on this. They basically gave you features that were just available via modding your old pedals, and I think it's totally fine. If you want to have the Metal Zone, for example, with the Kili mod or whatever, you basically have to have a mod. There is no pedal on the market that can give you this sound that you're looking for without owning an actual Boss and modify it. So, speaking of the Boss HM-2, if you know this channel, you might know that there are few clones of this pedal already available and still available, some of them fairly priced. So there is actually no need for Boss to release an HM-2 Waza because we already have the pedals. If you want an exact clone, you can buy by JD Music Labs an SDM or a Pepas pedal, Too Many Clones. You could buy Decibelix Angry Sweet, Torch by GUP Tech or GUP Tech, and the list goes on and on. I could easily make a whole video on all my Boss HM-2 clones. Okay, so, and most of those clones are improved. They have less noise and true bypass, no funny buffer input or outputs, and they sound so close that you can't tell a difference if you don't compare them A/B. Now for the old Boss HM-2s, the original chip isn't available anymore. You have to rely on new old stock ones, and they are quite noisy. So Boss can't actually reproduce the HM-2 exactly like they did in the 80s. They have to make some changes. They might be slightly, but they have to make some changes that all the other companies already did. And how would Boss improve the HM-2? All the other pedals just had a switch. So what can you do with a switch? You could basically add another clipping option. But I asked you, who needs another clipping option? I don't know if it's technically possible, but the only way that I could think of make this switch usable is switching the switch would actually change the way that the knobs function. So for example, in the classic mode you have your low and high controls that all do low and high. In the modern mode, low and high are already maxed out for this chainsaw sound, and now low and high do something totally different. For example, blend or mid control or whatever. You got the idea. I haven't seen any Waza pedal released with additional knobs, just the switch. To conclude, I think a switch would be pointless. Another thing I want to talk about. Why would Boss release an HM-2 Waza? They clearly don't care for the death metal audience, and let's be honest here. If you want a Boss HM2 or if you want an HM2 clone or whatever, you want it because of the chainsaw. So that speaking, you want it because you want to sound like Dismember, you want to sound like Entombed, you want to sound like Bloodbath, you want to sound like Nightbearer, of course. But the amount of people that want to sound like those bands isn't this big that it would make enough money for Boss to actually produce the HM-2 Waza Craft. And if they just do a small run, think about the price tag. All the Waza pedals cost around 130 up to 200 euros, and for this price you can already get all the clones that I mentioned, some even for less money, some for a bit more money, but they have additional features. And I still think if Boss is ever gonna release an HM2 Waza, they won't put any additional features into. And if they put any additional features, what would they actually put into that hasn't already been made? Think of KMA audio machines with a worm. Think of Electric Roots, the Contagion. Well, of course, think of Lone Wolf Audio with the left-hand rev or the left-hand puff. Those are already highly improved versions of the HM2, and I don't think that Boss will ever gonna spend money into developing some other unique features. So what they're gonna do? Just copy it and release the dozenth iteration of an pedal? Will they copy anyone's own design? That wouldn't be nice. Yes, I know that an HM2 in the used market goes for about 150 up to 200 euros. But I think I've made my point clear. There is just no need for an HM2 Waza. The only reason I could think of buying one is because I collect HM2 pedals. And, well, to be honest, I would buy an HM2 Waza, but I don't see myself using one. If I would use one, I would pick a different pedal, because they are less expensive, they have more of the features that I want, for example a band control, or they sound better like the left-hand rev. So all in all, I think an HM2 Waza is pretty pointless, and I don't think Boss is going to release one. Well, if they do, prove me wrong. So yeah, that's my point. If you have another opinion, that's totally fine. This is just my personal opinion. I don't claim it to be the ultimate truth. But let me know down in the comments, what do you think about Boss maybe releasing an HM2 Waza? Have you heard about the petition? Have you signed it? Have you don't sign it? Just let me know. And let me also know if you have any other topics you want me to talk about. And that's it for today. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe and like my Instagram page. May the force be with you and have a nice day.